Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, here with my brief thoughts on The Last Duel. This was directed by Ridley Scott, we all know who he is, and it starred Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, and Ben Affleck, among others. And this movie is based on a true story. It tells the story of when, in medieval times, a knight named Jean de Carouge, played by Matt Damon, challenges his former best friend, Jean de Gris, played by Adam Driver, to a duel, as Carouge's wife, the Lady Marguerite, played by Jodie Comer, claims that de Gris, assaulted her. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. By the time I'm recording this, it's pretty plain to see that this movie is a box office failure. However, all the reviews I've read have been very good to great, and from all of the people I've talked to about it, they have said that it is really good. People have been trying to determine why this movie was such a failure, considering that it starred Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, was directed by Ridley Scott, and among other factors. People have been saying that COVID was responsible because even though I think COVID has been severely lessened throughout the year, it is still a primary factor. And I've heard other people say it's the content that was the problem, and maybe it was a combination of the two. Having now seen the movie, I can safely say that the content probably had something to do with why this movie did not do well. Because, and I'm not trying to be a prude or anything, it's just, this is a very sensitive subject matter, and I want to be careful with how I word it. So, basically this movie revolves around a sexual assault, and this movie not only shows it once, but also twice. I'll talk more about why that is in just a minute. However, I am a fan of pretty much everybody involved with this project, so I went to see it just to see what would happen. And I was surprised. This movie was better than I possibly expected. Firstly, the acting is great across the board. To make a long story short, this movie is told from three perspectives. The perspective of Jean de Carouge, the perspective of Jacques de Gris, and the perspective of Lady Marguerite. In every perspective, these actors have to act differently because it's kind of like Scott Adams and his theory of when two people are seeing a movie, one sees it one way and the other person sees it another way. Jacques de Carouge sees himself as, courageous, as a war hero, and he feels like he is being diddled over by his former friend, Jacques de Gris. Jacques de Gris sees Jean de Carouge as pretty much a schmuck, and is firmly in bed with Pierre, the Lord of the Land, played by Ben Affleck. And Lady Marguerite sees Jean de Carouge as a bit of a scoundrel, but better than nothing, and sees Jean de Gris as, at first, a friend, but, it doesn't last long. In every instance, there needs to be these little nuances that has to, tie every performance together, and it's done so brilliantly. Also, I will give credit to Ridley Scott for maintaining a consistent tone throughout the movie. If this were a lesser director, there would probably be instances of jokes to kind of level things off. And for some, that would be a disappointment. But for me, I'm glad that when it grounds you in this very dark and bleary tone, it keeps you there. I like that. I like the spirit of that. Also, this movie is violent. It is so violent at times. My favorite scene in the movie is the aforementioned Last Duel, where it's Carouge and de Gris, everything that has happened, and because we know everything that has happened, this duel it feels like the end of the world. These two knights go from using lances to axes to swords and then to knives and eventually their own fists. And it's done seamlessly. And it looks like it was done on location with, actual stunts, which, that's awesome. I will not spoil it, but essentially the very end of the duel is one of those moments where I was just like, oh no, it was proper, like, grip your armrests type stuff. I almost forgot to mention Jodie Comer, because she gives the best performance in the entire movie. I won't spoil the movie, I promise. The movie does a good job of showing that Carouge and Degree, in their own mind, feel like, we shall stand up for this woman and be honorable. From the perspective of Lady Marguerite, these knights just look like a bunch of boys being like, eat it, nerd! Also, Ben Affleck, I think after the whole DCEU fiasco, in this movie he was just like, you know what, if I'm writing this, I'm just gonna write myself to be just, like, someone who just doesn't care about anything. It's low-key kind of beautiful to watch. At the end of the day, I can totally understand why The Last Duel was a failure at the box office. However, I loved this movie, and it's gotten better the more I've thought about it. I'm giving it an amazing grade. If you do not like this movie, I get it. I honestly do. I see where you're coming from. However, I walked out of this movie and I was blown away by how good it was. My favorite movies of the year list is becoming a bit of a horse race. But have you seen The Last Duel? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Also, and I don't know where the place is to tell this, but I'm going to be in a bit of a collab. I'm going to be a part of the Suit Up Geeks podcast greatest sci-fi movie of all time draft. This is my first time doing this. I reached out to the guy who runs it, and he was like, yeah, sure, come on in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got the first round pick, so it's going to be fun. I'll send out links and let you all know where you can watch it if you are so inclined, but throughout 2021, I've just made more connections on YouTube, and I'm just so happy for that. But if you liked this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam. I'll see you in the next one.